All right, it's now time for us to go through what the papers are saying. We have 8 papers on the focus this morning. We have The Nation, The First News, Leadership Weekend, Guardian, Blueprint, Saturday Independent, The Weekend Punch, as well as The West. And of course, we'll be doing this together, looking at what the papers are saying. Let's start from The Nation, which starts with a big headline: Tinubu to Supreme Court, Obi LP's appeal, Mayor Jamboree. And as a rider, President VP asked Apex Court to reject their suit. Say APM's challenge of Shetima's nomination, a waste of court's time, and the certificate saga attempt to truncate civil rule. That's from Bashir. We have other headlines there. CAC, Son, Smida, and 11 others get new chief executive officers. Imam is new FEMA board chair. Agbasi, MD, and Tinubu appoints Ononuga Yakubu as SASSA. And another headline from the front page of The Nation is President pulls FCTA out of Treasury single account. OK, Civil Service Commission for Capital Territory. And of course, why I accepted to work with President by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. We have other news stories. 2,800 dead as Israeli orders Gaza evacuation. That's the bottom of the news of The Nation. And of course, other screaming headlines: Ondo Assembly denies halting Ayedatiwa's impeachment. And there's, of course, the story around the death of the music artist Mohbad, Corona, Summons, Naira Marley, others. Nigeria's 87 trillion total debt profile manageable, says IMF, denies debt restructuring talks with government. All right.
Interesting stories there.
A lot of interesting stories screaming for attention.
Well, let's look at this one coming from the Minister of the FCT.
Okay, on the papers?
Yeah, on the papers.
In The Nation, that is. Okay.
Yeah, The Nation newspaper.
All right, Kemi, you have the next papers.
All right, let's look at First News. First News says, Tinubu, Shetima to Supreme Court, Obi, LP's petition, Mayor Jamboree, says case lacks merit, substance, good faith, intended mainly for media entertainment, urge Apex Court to reject and dismiss petition. Tinubu sacks replaces heads of CAC, ITF, NSDC, NEPSA, others. There's this interesting story from Kano State about Governor Yusuf wedding 1,700 couples.
That's quite interesting.
In Kano State. And Tambuwal is said to have emptied the treasury in Sokoto State before leaving. This is an allegation from the current governor, Aliu. Mohbad's death, Corona summons Naira Marley and others. Ondo Assembly suspends deputy governor's impeachment process. So many stories there. Of course, drama awaits us, more drama awaits us on the Supreme Court as court papers are already being exchanged across all the parties in the matter. And from the headlines we are seeing, so many punches verbally that is, circulating.
Well, it would be interesting to see how the Supreme Court will make sense of all of this. Of course, that's the constitutional court in the country, and we expect them to set the record straight. Emmanuel,
Leadership Weekend now, and the big story here says Imo Bayelsa Kogi governorship elections. Abdusalami Koka challenged candidate to renounce violence. Page 4 there on the Leadership Weekend. Peace Pact to be signed November 9. Anyanwu Achono fault. Uzodima's approach to tackling insecurity. And last attempt to sign peace accord failed in Kogi, Ajaka. They're talking why violence persists as CSOs there. And we have pictures of Silva, Ajaka, Anyanwu, Uzodima, Udodo, Achono there. Big story on the front page of Leadership Weekend. Egypt warns against Israel push for Gaza residents to move south. FG approves creation of FCT Civil Service Commission. Page 6 there. And more borrowings as FG raises 652.8 billion naira from the 150 billion naira Sukuk offer. Page 18 there of the Leadership Weekend paper. And where we have IMF Louds, CBN for lifting forest ban on 14 items. Tinubu appoints Ononuga special advisor. Kashim Imam FEMA chairman. My secret life here says, I have passion for helping the less privileged. Kartume there talking.
Lots of interesting stories. And of
there.
course, we're building up to the off-cycle elections in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi State. That's November. And it promises to be interesting.
Very interesting.
On
very,
TVC
very.
News, we'll be giving you all the build-up to that election, as we've always done for the elections that will be happening next month. Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi. We saw the campaign trail started in Imo during the week. The Vice President Kashim Shettima was there. And of course, we hope that it will be a very peaceful election.
Very, very peaceful. That's what we're calling on all stakeholders there to ensure that it is a peaceful election in those various states.
All right, let's go to The Guardian. And of course, The Guardian on Saturday has this very interesting headline. Accept IPOB's offer for dialogue. Southeast stakeholders beg President Tinubu. And we have a picture of the president, the governor of Imo State, and of course, Dr. Emmanuel Nwanyao, who is the president of the Ohaneze in Igbo there. We have another story on the front page. That's police swoop on Abuja one chance robbery gang kidnappers. That's a very good word. And still from the nation's federal capital, Tinubu pulls FCTA, as a Federal Capital Territory Authority, out of TSA. That means they can run like a state.
And you had the minister of the FCTA talking about with this initiative put in place by the president, there will be more projects to be done in the federal capital.
My question is,
territory.
why are we having more reform in the FCT with the minister, former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, in charge? I mean, it's looking like the FCT is now becoming
Nyesom Wike, if you know it's
do you think
antecedents.
This is a fallout of the 35% state or not, 36 or 37 state?
Oh, all right. Okay. Still fallout of the elections. Well, Wike is a newsmaker any day, any time, and his predecessors, have also, done what they can to improve the status of the FCT. But I think this latest one about him pulling the FCTA out from the
so they can generate their revenue
and that's the point. And that's the point he's making.
To improve the FCTA. So the FCTA is practically running as a state now.
Right, that's the point.
With the president as a governor, but the minister is acting as the prime minister of.
And
we have to wait for that to be. It
doesn't make sense for him as an FCT minister to be walking to the CBN, for example, asking for funds deducted from the treasury account. And so leave us as we are. We are a special for the state, no doubt, at least when it comes to matters like elections and all that. But in terms of our funds, how we generate our funds, the project that we also have, let us, be like every other state.
And trust him that he will definitely deliver with his antecedents in Rivers State.
Well, of course, that's left to be seen. Kemi, let's go to the blueprint.
Blueprint, well, I might just narrow down the stories, okay, but let's see how it goes. First off, Second Republic Minister Metama Yusuf dies at 76. May his soul rest in peace. And then there's this worrying update regarding the situation on the Gaza Strip. The United Nations is warning that, of course, that area the region is on the brink of collapse. Of course, we're following the news, following the evacuation order given by Israel, and reports say millions of residents are said to be at risk, wondering where to go amidst the humanitarian crisis looming. Other stories there: police recruitment portal opens for constable specialist at cadres. And the biggest story there is on the fuel subsidy removal. The dust is yet to settle as Forex crunch bites harder. Fuel depots, filling stations shut down. Marketers cannot compete with NNPCL for Forex. Recall this week that Mele Kyari of the NNPCL had said as much, that the state oil firm, still had the financial muscle that is, and now we are seeing it being replicated here. In the meantime, there's still persisting queues as motorists bemoan the situation. There's serious need for quality screenplays in Kannywood. That's according to a practitioner there. And finally, Malagi charges Arcon, that's the advertising agency, to promote local content in the advertising industry. Of course, everybody, including Nigeria, is worried about the development between Israel and Gaza. Only days ago, pilgrims that had recently traveled to the Holy Land were forced basically to come back, return home. And we understand that some countries like South Korea are also evacuating their nationals to safer climes, or back home, basically away from Israel.
All right, Saturday Independent now fix refineries. Nigerians tell Tinubu. Says fuel subsidy palliative ridiculous. FJ economic policy was ever. Professor Kila, they're talking. Allow Supreme Court decide on Tinubu's CSU certificate. LP Secretary tells Obi insists his name on NYC certificate differs from UNN. Page 30 there of the Saturday Independent paper. Tinubu removes FCT from TSA, approves creation of Civil Service Commission. That's their weekend they're talking, page 3. And also, let's move on. More stories here. Blindness, widowhood, too much for me to bear. Ogunsoya, they're talking. Israel orders evacuation of 1.1 million people to southern Gaza as ground attack looms. And fans congratulate Davido Chioma over birth of twins. Congratulations.
I think that's very interesting. And
very heartwarming.
Very.
Extend our congratulations to their Adelekes as well. Just about a year ago, the family lost one of their sons. That's the late Ifeanyi. And now God has compensated with the family.
It's a double portion for them.
But it's very interesting, and we congratulate the family, wishing them more of God's blessings as they work.
And after this, we're expecting more twins.
Okay, coming from a father.
I like
that's the prayer. People,
like
after having twins, they will tell you that, you know, in Yoruba, they will say you'll give birth to Idowu, Alaba, and the likes.
David won't mind.
Because he has
the
might. He has the might. And so do you, Emmanuel.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know. No, don't give such prophecy here.
Well, of course, God will give the capacity. I mean, I wouldn't mind having twins myself.
Okay.
I mean, because I know God will give me the capacity.
Absolutely. That's the way to go.
All right. Okay, let's go to the punch. I mean, we have to do that. It's a weekend program, and of course, we need to make it very exciting for you to watch. Let's go to the punch, and the punch is looking at the economy. IMF proposes more taxes, higher interest rates after subsidy removal. Maybe IMF should just hold their peace. We've had enough tax to deal with in recent times. Well, let's go to survivors recount near-death experience as Lagos tanker explosion raised 11 vehicles. That's a very sad one there. Enroll your children in schools or go to jail. There's a Senate proposal. I think this, it just adds...
reflects what Ronke said earlier.
With the Ronke, where children were out of school, the parents should be responsible for that. Now, let's go to this story at the bottom of the punch. Why I poured hot oil on my husband, Rivers woman. This is pathetic.
Very
tragic and
pictures,
of course, worrisome.
The pictures there are crazy.
I mean,
too horrendous.
Domestic violence issues where couples...
Yeah, and that is it. That's the word, domestic violence.
Little tolerance of one another. I mean, minor arguments leading to you harming your partner.
Where lies the perseverance in marriage?
It's really what religious organizations have to start preaching now. It's becoming a worrisome trend. We've seen wives stab their husband, seen husbands beat their wife to stupor. We've seen children even attack their parents. We cannot grow as a country if we do not together criticize and condemn.
And this calls for questioning the issue of mental health.
Absolutely.
Of Nigeria.
I mean, during the week we celebrated mental health awareness, and I think this also underlines that. Abibi Naija hyped show opening diverse doors, attracting controversies, morality questions. And we are seeing some of the stars who have emerged from the reality shows who have gone on to big things in other spheres. And of course, there's a story around Mobad. Let's wrap up with the West, Clement.
The West, right? The biggest story there is on Friday's development at the coroner's inquest investigating Mobad's death, how he died. That is Now it's confirmed that the coroner chairing the inquest will summon Naira Marley, Prime Boy, and Sam Larry, as well as other critical witnesses, will give evidence as ordered by the coroner. Ondo Deputy Governor gets a lifeline as impeachment plans against him hits the wall. CJ declines Assembly order to set up a probe panel, and no matter the hindrance, we're going to follow due process. That's according to the majority leader. Still in Akure, the High Court has struck out Aida Tiwasu challenging his impeachment plans. Still in Lagos, or still looking at the paper, that's the West newspaper that says, dirty environments, Lagos shuts Mile 12, Owode Oniri Markets monitors others for hygiene, law compliance. There's a updates from the world of sports there, making it to the front page of the paper. Saudi Arabia holds Super Eagles to a 2-2 draw. And this interesting story of Kenny Keke Ogungbe himself, adorning the NYSC uniform, and their reasons as to why he participated in the NYSC. And we can see him there flanked by other core members or outgoing core members.
I really do not know how this happened. I thought there's an age limit.
I saw it.
Which is 30 years.
30 years old. Kenny is about 54, 55 years old.
I think
he's defending himself now, and which has also brought up another debate. He says he graduated school at the age of 26 or thereabout, which qualifies him to go for service. Okay, but that the law is specific that if you graduate after 30 years, you cannot go on service. Go to serve your nation this way. But now people are saying that, are we seeing Kenny Ogungbe also considering political ambition
you never can tell
in the nearest future?
Well, we want to congratulate him, and of course we hope it will encourage others
to also join
to serve the country. The country needs a lot of people to serve. Yeah. But I hope he will donate his alawi to charity.
Which of them? Now, the one he has already...
But kudos to the Lagos State government concerning the issue of environment. Cleanliness is next to godliness. We must ensure that an environment is definitely clean.
All right. Okay.